Back at PPG Paints Arena for the final time, and welcome to the off season. It came a little quicker than I think some people suspected. Even if a lot of people thought the Penguins might win it, I think a lot of people also thought this would be a more competitive series. Final score tonight, 5-2 for the Pittsburgh Penguins over the Blue Jackets. They win the series 4-1. Aaron and Mike Arace, I think there were a lot of factors kind of going in, but one of the strangest things coming out of this series, I didn't think we would be talking about what to do with Bob Sergei Bobrovsky going forward, but he became really the biggest story of the series.
Yeah, over the whole of the series, that's the one arc that never quite went away. I mean, I think as a team they played progressively better as it moved along. He certainly created enough offense in the last 3 games to be successful. But the one thing that never got righted was Sergei Bobrovsky was never, at any point, the sharp, dominating goaltender that he was during the regular season. This continues for him a history of poor play in the playoffs. You know the numbers from this series, but if you apply to him the 34 active goaltenders right now who have played more than 10 games in the playoffs, he is at the bottom of the list, and that is shocking when you think of the success he's had during the regular season.
And I think it's very tough on the organization, given where this guy has come from the last couple of years, how hard this guy was, how much invested he was into getting back, lost all that, 17, 18 pounds in the offseason, did everything right, was rewarded with a fine regular season.
No injuries.
No injuries, and yet we're here talking about this. I know it was a big part of your column for tomorrow's paper.
Yes, indeed. This series, 1-4, 3.88, 888 save percentage.
In that ballpark, yeah.
Right in there. I mean, 4 goals a game and sub 900 just doesn't get it done in the playoffs. You know, and you parse it any way you want, but Bob didn't get it done in the playoffs. The other investment in Bob is monetary. He's the second highest paid goaltender in the league, and that really puts the team in a pickle if they're thinking about doing something. You know?
Yeah, and you know, we've talked about this in the past too. They're in a format where it's not going to go away.
Right.
I mean, if you say, well, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, this is and Pittsburgh does this to a lot of goaltenders. Well, look, if this team wants to go where it wants to go in the future, he's got to get over this thing either with Pittsburgh or these big teams, because the path to the Eastern Conference for the finals for the foreseeable future is probably going to go through Pittsburgh and or Washington.
Yeah, and what do great goaltenders do? They win in the playoffs. I mean, Pittsburgh is a hell of a hockey team. They're not unbeatable, right? I mean, they won the Cup last year. They may well win it again this year. But, you know, the margin in this series, as tough as the series was, and I know Tortorella said it wasn't a 5-game series. It wasn't a 5-game series, Dubinsky said. What's the margin? What's the goal differential? I mean, we're talking 3-1, 4-1. I think what was 1 game within a goal? 2 games were within a goal.
Yeah.
And then this one's 3. We're not talking about give and take and 2 goals.
No.
We're talking about 6, 7, 8 goals over 5 games.
I think
it's not even close.
I think, you know, probably they're talking from their heart as far as saying the effort. This was not an effort of a 4-1 series. But let's face it, 2 factors here. Number one, we've just been discussing.
And nobody wants to say that.
The goaltending, right? Nobody wants to say Bob.
If that guy made a save, this is much more competitive.
And the second part of this, and maybe it goes hand in hand, is the stars for the Pittsburgh Penguins were just outstanding. Sidney Crosby, Malkin, Kessel, the power play, 5 power play goals, 2 tonight. You know, this is something. This is a mountain they're going to have to somehow overcome at some point.
Right, because these guys are all still
in their prime. They're in their prime.
Mid-late prime.
There's no Letang out there either.
Right.
Let's remember this.
And we're not even talking. I mean, Crosby, Gunsel combined for I think 13 points in the series. Malkin had 11 points all by himself in this series.
9 assists, right?
Yeah.
10 assists, maybe?
Yeah. And that's just a couple guys, and there's
Kessel with dagger goals.
Yeah.
All right, there was one bit of controversy, and it was a major moment in this game early in the third period. The Blue Jackets had fought back from 3-0, got it to 3-2 early in the third period. They thought they scored a goal. Oliver Bjorkstrand puts it into an empty net. The officials decide to rule that Alexander Wenberg interfered with the goalie. The official could have said no goal just incidental contact, no penalty.
Right.
Instead, he calls Wenberg for a penalty in which Wenberg is going to the net, seems to be getting driven into the net by Scott Wilson, and kind of hooked at the same time.
Yeah.
More hooked than driven, I think.
Yeah.
He couldn't control. He couldn't avoid the goaltender.
Steered into him.
He was hooked. Yeah.
From the bench, you can clearly see that Tortorella, not happy, thought that it was a penalty, probably with a hook. After the game, Tortorella would not say anything. We did catch up with Alexander Wenberg. Let's listen to his comments.
It's tough for me. I'm not trying to do anything. I feel like there's a guy coming, and the guy makes a call, and I think he's just guessing. But I mean, that's my opinion. I'm not going to say too much. It is what it is.
Yeah, well, I think Torch seemed to back you up because he was like screaming from the bench. I think he assumed the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not changing anything. So
the way that you guys were able to get back in this game, down 3-0, I think a lot of people probably counted you out. What allowed you guys to kind of come back the way you did?
No, you just keep playing our game. It's the team we have here. It's a great group of guys, and I mean, everyone fighting for each other and working hard, try to get back in this game. And I mean, we have 51 shots to score 2 goals. So I mean, obviously, they have some things to work on for that. I mean, I'm proud of the guys. I mean, obviously, I'm not so happy with my playoffs, so we got to be better. So it's just look at this, learn from it, and be better next time we get a chance.
Gentlemen, your thoughts on this call? Again, we've discussed that the better team is Pittsburgh, but on this call.
Yeah, well, my issue with the call is typically when a skater goes into the goaltender and a goal is scored, if it's not an egregious attempt to run the goalie, they disallow the goal and there's no penalty. We've seen that a million times. It always confuses people.
Incidental contact.
That is a call that they can make. The call here was that this was an egregious attempt by the skater to take the goaltender out of the play. So not only does it take the puck out of the net, it puts Pittsburgh on the power play. And that, Tortorella would have been, and that's what I was trying to get to him, and he wouldn't.
Crosby scored, and it's
Crosby, yes.
Crosby scores, now it's 4-2 instead of 3-3.
right.
So it could have been bad. It turned out to be much worse, not just in the call, but then, of course, the result.
And the irony, of course, that this was Alexander Wenberg. He had
this
21
is a show
penalty. 21 penalty minutes all year.
Right.
I mean, this is a Lady Bing candidate, not a crease crasher. And it just, what did you see on the play?
You know, I agree with Corey after having looked at it a number of times. Even though he didn't drill Fleury, he more brushed him. And even though it seemed to me within Wenberg's power to avoid the hit, and even though Fleury did flop, to me, it's like I had a problem when they didn't wipe out penalties in Game 1 with Dubinsky and Cole. And that cost them at the start of the third period.
Second game.
Game two. So, like, to me, either, I mean, never mind, no call. I would have said incidental contact, take away the goal, and no penalty.
Do we have an update on Fleury's condition? Is he still...
Fleury's fine.
49 saves. He was fine.
But you mentioned Dubinsky. Let's we caught up with him after the game. Let's hear what he had to say.
Changed the game. Changed the course of the game. I didn't see the call, so I can't comment on the call. But obviously, it changed the game big time.
The grit you showed after being down 3-0, describe the comeback.
Yeah, we kept fighting. There's no doubt. You know, it's a tough lead to spot the defending champs, and just the push. We just couldn't find the tire there, and again, you know, we couldn't find a way to kill that one off, and I think that was the difference.
A lot of shots again, a lot of opportunities. Closing on some of these maybe earlier would have had a different put a different print on this game early.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like the theme of the series. First couple games here, we couldn't find a way. Tonight, again, he was good. He had a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances. Couldn't bury, obviously enough. And then our specialty teams, I think, was the difference a little bit in the series too. We got to do a better job on the kill, and we got to find a way to score on the play too.
So the team with the fourth most points in the season is out.
So is the team with the third most. They're second most.
Second most this year.
Chicago
Blackhawks
swept.
swept. I mean, that's obviously
Unreal.
The bigger.
Arce was unbelievable.
We're going to have time to really get into this here in the next couple of days to dig into this season, but just some quick thoughts on this really franchise record-setting season that ended, I'm sure, far quicker than Blue Jacket fans had hoped.
My thoughts go to what Tortorella said at the end, which was he loves these guys and he can't wait to get back with them in training camp. And I think that is going to be the theme starting Saturday when they clean their lockers out and heading forward. I don't see a lot of changes they can make, barring a major trade. I think they still need some top-line talent among the forwards. But really, the Jackets have treated this series and come out of it with sort of the same idea that they have a good young team and they grew a lot. And so, like, what you see is what you get. Now, is there more upside? We're going to dissect it for months now going forward. But that, to me, and again, barring a trade, and Jarmo has been shy in the past, but I see them content with what happened. Not content, but at least not dissuaded by the path that this particular team is on.
Yeah, except for the one big thing as we talked about. Just your thoughts. Bobrovsky. Yeah. But your thoughts.
But they have to stick with him too.
Well, Tom Tortorella would not talk about their youth. I will. I think they had 10 guys that made their playoff debut in this series. That's not a small number. That's half the team. Alexander Wenberg was really upset, disappointed in himself. This is his first go-round at this against some great centermen. William Karlsson took huge strides by the end of his series. I mean, look at Seth Jones looked like a man most nights, and Marcus Nudavara looked really good the last couple of games.
And Gabriel Karlsson,
right.
I thought, played
and I know nobody wants to hear this excuse making. It's a strange thing what this season has done. They so far exceeded their regular season expectations that they created these lofty postseason expectations. Now they've fallen short of those. So it's kind of a higher here, lower here. I think you can get lost in this, saying that this is where they are and they can't compete with this team now. It's a really young team with players. And look what the Penguins did in their playoff work. You wrote a story about it.
Yeah, 2007. I mean, Crosby, Malkin, Fleury,
eaten alive by Ottawa.
All these guys eaten alive in 5 games.
Yeah.
The same way here, but they learned so much from that. Next year they're going to Stanley Cup. I'm not going to say they're going to be there. Let's hear what John Tortorella kind of had to say about this.
Yeah, I'm not singling on any one player. That was a team effort. I like our group. I'll tell you right now, I like our group. Do we have some things to work on and get better at? You're goddamn right we do. But I like our group.
John, the special teams in this series, I think they ended up with 5 or 6 power play goals.
Yeah.
Can you speak to the difference that makes in a close series?
Special teams are very important in the playoffs, and theirs was better than ours.
John, is it fair to say that Fleury stole that game?
Well, we had a lot of chances. I think we had over 30 chances, which is just insane. We needed to capitalize. We didn't. They did.
Coach, you talk about this being a process this entire year. What did you learn about this series with your team?
That we're a good team. I think with some of the, I'm not going to the young and inexperienced. I don't want to go there at all. I thought our guys had no fear playing against a Stanley Cup champ, a very good team we played. They had no fear, and we put a ton of good minutes in. I'm proud of our club. As I said, that's not a 4-1 series, and not going to piss and moan about it. They win, but I like a lot of things about our club, and as I said, we have to lick our wounds and learn from some of the things that went on in this series. But I'm really I can't wait to get going again with them. Quite honestly, I'm proud of them. I'm very proud of the group.
All right, get to Buford.
Yeah. Gentlemen, it looks like now we will be back on Saturday. Clean out your locker day. Yep. Again, the Blue Jackets were kind of hoping that this would be a little farther down the line. I'm sure Mike Arace will be there for all the coverage. We are going to have podcasts coming up. We got some cannon fodders to do. A lot of blogs, chats coming up. I mean, the season's over for the Blue Jackets, but this man right here, who's the best in the business, will be keeping you. I'll be doing some other things, but this guy will be every little move that goes along with the Blue Jackets. He will be. He will
set the bar too high here.
He'll be forming. Aaron, can I ask you a question now that the season's officially over?
Yes, sir.
Who are the Blue Jackets going to protect in the expansion?
For
Aaron Portzline, Michael Arace, Tom Reed, and Kyle Robertson behind the camera. We'll talk to you soon.